Welcome back. You may have noticed I changed the handle on my YouTube and Instagram to Rabbit Hunters, or MK1 Rabbit Hunters. About a year ago I went and bought a .com and then decided not to do the .com and I just focus on the Instagram and the YouTube. It's just a little easier that way. Today what I'm going to do is focus on these busted taillights. What I'm going to try to do is, I have a solid one that I'm going to replace for this one, and then I'm going to try to rebuild this one. I have a good one for over here. Oops, sorry, over here. I have a good one here, so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to take pieces out of this, or at least I'm going to try to take pieces out of this and rebuild this. I'm going to see if I can get, I'm going to get the plastic piece off of this one, the clear piece, to redo that. And I'm going to try to pull these panels here to redo these. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to pull these out real quick. I'll show you how to do that. So you're going to use an 8mm, I don't know if you can see that, but 8mm on these bolts here. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I believe. And then you'll have to undo this grounding screw here. And then first what we're going to do is take all these off. Somebody put some weird janky wire thing here. So just twist them off like so. Probably gonna have to find some new ones of these because they are falling apart. But again, 8mm. I'll pull these off. Alright, so this side's done. Much nicer. And I could find another one of these, but I like trying to see if I can fix things. It'll help me and it may help you. I also like doing things on a budget if possible. And I was able to grab this. I think I paid like 30 bucks for that one and this broken one here, so I had enough parts to build something. Alright, so I'm going to take this side off now. So what I just did there is I spun it enough to heat it up so that it would pull out of this hole here. So I'll re-glue it in. I don't think that'll be a problem. Ooh, hot. All right, I'm gonna bring these down to the workspace and we'll get working on it. All right, so this is the one that I pulled off the passenger side. It's broken here, but the clear piece is good. The one that was on my driver's side is missing the clear piece and it's broken here. So this is a complete hypothesis. I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to take this clear piece off and these two red pieces to repair this and replace this. So where these always fall off and it looks like they're just glued, my thought is I can hit this with a heat gun and pull it off. So I've got a heat gun. I also have a little die grinder with a cutting wheel. Got my little impact, little screwdriver. I don't know if I'll need that. And I got 3 different size screwdrivers to do some prying, a little pick. And then I got these 8mm and the vice grips from when I was taking them off. So I probably won't even need those. But let's see what we can do. So first thing I'm going to try to do is get this off. And again, I said that, you know, it always falls off on these, so it can't be too hard to kind of bake it off, if you will. There's the heat gun. And I'm going to try to hit that. I'm also going to try to pull this gasket off. So I can get in there a little bit better. So I will not need it. If you just get a screwdriver down into the corner, the gasket will peel off. Like so. I'll keep the gasket just in case I need it. I don't know if you can see in here, there seems to be like a white glue in this edge here. And then like up here, there's really nothing connecting it, and on the bottom, which is probably part of the problem. But let's see what we can do. So I'm using my smallest screwdriver. Just get some heat in here. Was actually very easy. So you can see it just popped right off. And now, actually I can't use this one because it's the right side one. But now I know it pops off. So I can use this one. Again, I'm going to hit it with some heat. And you should just pop off. The sides aren't even really connected much at all. I think the only place it's really glued is up in here. So just hit that with some heat. Not too much because you don't want it to bubble or be weird. That was actually far too easy. Alright, so now the new one's gonna pop in like this. So there's some excess glue right here. Just gonna clean up with this. Alright, so this one should be good. What I'll do, I'm going to use super glue, and I'm going to basically I'll quickly like sand this, and then I'll lay the super glue down. I'll clean this up too. I'll probably wipe it with a little bit of acetone too to get a better seal. But you can actually, if you look at the glue in here, it looks just like super glue. I don't know if you can see that. So there's like breaks just like super glue. I think that's all it is. So that part's good. This part is probably going to be a little more difficult. Seems like this is all one piece as well. So I'm gonna how do I want to do this? Alright, so I've got a couple good panels now. This one and this one. This is the bad one. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to cut on the outside here, and then I think I'm gonna do the same here, like right on the outside of each. Try to get rid of this top piece here too. Just basically go right into the, like, just remove the black pretty much, so that I can just set this panel right back in. The frame piece, it's all part of it. This black section is in pretty good shape, so I'm not too worried about that. My grinder kind of got some junk going on there, so I'm just gonna hit this and then peel it off. Should come right off. There we go. Came off. Alright, so again, I'm going to cut this on the inside here. I'm going to get this on the outside of this one, on the inside of this one. See how this goes. Watch out for flying plastic. Gosh. There's got to be a better way to do that. What's happening is, because I'm using this and not something like a saw, it's kind of wandering on me, which might not be too bad. I think I might grab my Dremel so I have a little more like precise cutting abilities. I'll be right back. Okay, back with the Dremel. Got a little like diamond cutting wheel on the end of it. I think this will give me a little bit more preciseness. So I'm going to try to do the surgery and pull this panel out. Alright. So I get this panel pretty cleaned up. What I'm going to do is get another Dremel piece, or another thing on my Dremel, so that I can clean up these edges and get them, clean up these edges, so this will sit down in there better. I'm also going to grab a piece of sandpaper that I can stick to the table to kind of, sand this straight so it will go in there better. I think this is going to work well. It looks like the plastic, the black part, is actually painted. So I think that when I'm done putting this in here and I get it all glued in, I can probably just mask off the colored portions and then just paint that part, and it should be fine. Again, this is a race car. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be a show car. I think even if it's ratty, once it's done and I decide to bring it to a show somewhere, it'll still look pretty awesome. So, I'll be right back. Alright, I get some sandpaper. It's 120 grit. I'm just going to put it on the table here. Grab this. And just kind of go back and forth. The table's pretty flat, so it's going to make this a good edge here. So that works super well. You don't have to do it for very long. Edges are good. I'll hit it just a little bit more, but it's looking great. Nice. It fits. This back piece here, I'm probably just gonna cut. You know what I'll do? I'll show you what I'll do. I'll probably grab a piece of masking tape, put it over that, and trace it so I know the size of it, and then I'll custom cut out a piece of plastic, and I will glue that in there as well. But I'm gonna wait to do that because I need the ability for the gas from the super glue to leave the area. So if I seal this off completely, it's going to make it super foggy underneath. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to drop a crap ton of super glue in here. And I'm actually also, that screw that came out was right here. They go in here. I don't know if you can see this, but the head of the screw is here. So I'm going to pop that in there and super glue that so that this post is useful again. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab that. Just gotta get the plastic off the screw here. Maybe I can melt it off. All right, there's the screw. So what I'm going to actually do is put the heat gun in this hole here where the screw originally went, right here, heat it up, and then jam this in there, and then I'll also glue it. Super glue. Okay, I have a stud again. That should work. make sure that there is a complete bead all the way around this thing, so probably have to use 2 of these. I'm just going through and scraping some of the excess glue off, kind of shaping it as well, so that all the seams are filled. And the black is definitely painted because it's actually coming off because of the glue. Alright, I'm going to get more super glue and glue these pieces back on. Alright, got more super glue. I'm going to do around the orange and around the white now. Before I do that, I will wipe it with some acetone, just for good measure. Using one of the picks to open these works a lot better, because I find a lot of times when you use this end, you end up squeezing it and then some comes out and gets all over your fingers. Alright, again, just put a good bead all the way around. Make sure there's no gaps. Like so. And we'll grab this piece. Now we get a nice corner piece. Lay down a bead on this one now. Just press that on there. Look at that. We've got a complete left side light now. Just gonna make sure the seal. Just gonna make sure the seal goes all the way around on this. That seems like it's good. All right, I'm gonna grab a piece of masking tape, mask this off real quick so I can get the shape, and then cut a piece to fit. Be right back. All right, I'm gonna put a piece of tape over the hole here, cut it to shape, and stick it to another piece of plastic so that I can cut out a piece to fit. Alright, so this should roughly be the shape of the piece that I need. So I'm just going to put it on here, and I'm going to grab my Dremel, and I'm just basically cut out that shape. Shall see what we did. Hey, that's pretty darn good. Nice. So now what I'm going to do is take this, make a couple strips that can go across, like so. So it doesn't fall in. Like this. I'll grab more super glue. Basically just fill these holes in. There you have it. So we'll let that dry. Also going to take some tape. Because I've used a lot of glue, it's going to take a while to tighten up. So I'm going to use some tape here just to kind of put pressure on these areas. I mean, it's definitely crappy up close because you can see all the glue right now, but once it's all dry, I'll get in there with something and kind of polish it and whatnot. But again, it's a race car. I'm just doing this for now until I find another one. But this was very easy to replace. I'd recommend if you don't want to spend the money, but you can find a broken one, just do that. I will have this piece here that I will put up on eBay. Somebody can buy it. Help offset the cost of this. Alright, last thing I'm going to do real quick. I've got some headlight restorer. And I'm just going to polish this on here real quick. Kind of clean these up. Now that everything is dry. This is basically just a really, really fine buffing compound. You could probably do the same with toothpaste. I've seen people do that before. So, as you can see, taillights look great. From a distance, can't really tell anything's weird. They look like they're supposed to. I may get in here at some point with something and clean that up, but for now I don't really care. They're sealed and they're complete. Thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment, buy a t-shirt. Work on your Volkswagens. Do what you want to do, make it your own. This thing's coming along nicely. I put the carpets back in the other day. I don't know if I showed everybody that yet, but it's starting to look like something.